Hello and welcome to the GrapeSEED official podcast. We have another installment of MeySen Connection today. I'm sure that you have noticed in a lot of our interviews the name MeySen Academy mentioned. If you've been teaching GrapeSEED for a long time, you might also remember that some of the materials were named after MeySen in the past. MeySen Academy is a wonderful school in Sendai, Japan with 2 large campuses. They are a kindergarten during the day, and then in the afternoon and evenings, elementary school students and even older students come for GrapeSEED lessons. Locally and even nationally, they are known for their high-quality education and their beautiful campuses. MeySen teachers are also very carefully chosen and are very dedicated individuals. In this new podcast series, we'll talk with different MeySen staff members, sometimes teachers, sometimes management. There'll be practical teaching tips shared, as well as inspiring stories. Through this series, you will certainly be able to feel what makes this place so special. On this podcast, we welcome Peter Harrison, a former teacher who has moved into a managerial role. Welcome to the podcast, Peter.
Hi, thanks, Adam.
Great. So how long have you been at MeySen and what is your current role?
I'm now in my 11th year here at MeySen. I started by teaching Friends Club, which is our after-school elementary school program. And I also taught some high school classes at that time, well, junior high school and senior high school classes. After a while, I got pushed up into management. I looked after the other staff here. And actually, for the last 5 years, I've been running our study abroad programs, which we run here at MeySen.
Can you go into a little bit of detail about what that study abroad program is?
Sure. Well, during the day, we have our kindergarten classes. That's the main part of our business. And then in the evening, we have our elementary school classes, and then junior high school and high school classes after that. Mm-hmm. So they are hour-long classes in the evening from 8 to 9 p.m. And for these junior high school and high school students, we offer a range of study abroad opportunities, from shorter ones like 3 weeks in Australia or 3 weeks traveling through Europe, up to a full year program where we can take students to America or recently Canada, and they join the public schools there or even the private schools in some cases, and they really develop their English to an almost completely fluent level.
Wow. I can imagine that as being in charge of that program with so many different options, it must be really difficult for you to coordinate all of that.
Yeah, it can be stressful at times, but I get to lead the programs to Australia and Europe sometimes, which is, once the headaches are all sorted out, once the students are placed and the schools are ready to go, actually leading the trip itself is really fun. I get to go on a mini holiday sometimes, and also just seeing the kids use their English that they've learned over the years and talk to the local kids and their teachers is really fun and really rewarding.
I bet. But with this year, with COVID and all, what have you had to do instead?
Yes, it's been a very difficult year for us in our department. We've had to drop all of the programs, in fact, this year. Oof. So the students who had qualified didn't get to go abroad. Although the ones who were in the States at the start of the year did manage to complete their program, and they came back in June. They had to go through quarantine once they got back to Japan, but they all got back safely and they enjoyed their time. It was difficult for them because the last 2 or 3 months, the schools in America also closed. But rather than seeing the negative side and feeling like they missed out, they all emphasized the positives of that. They were able to spend more time with their host families and get out into the community a bit more. And so I was really happy to see the maturity there of the students.
Yeah, it's really great that they were able to kind of stick it out and finish that program, because that's going to be really meaningful for them as they kind of continue on with their, not just English education, but as they keep maturing into adults.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, spending a year abroad in another culture is really something at this age. They can pick up a lot, and it often affects them going forward. Some of them, I'm sure, will go on to universities in foreign countries too. We have a number of students who've gone through our programs, end up going to the universities in especially the Western states of America, and then 1 or 2 in the UK and even in Germany, actually.
Yeah, because I think kids get tired of hearing that question all the time of what do you want to be when you grow up? I think, at least personally for me, as almost as important of a question is where do you want to be when you grow up? And for these kids, this program just opens the door to so many possibilities that maybe their future originally was just, okay, I'm going to go to college in Japan, graduate, and live in Japan the rest of my life. But maybe for these kids now, they can think about, okay, maybe I'll go to college in Europe and then I'll go live in America or Canada. Like there's so many choices now that they have because of this program.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, especially in Japan, it often feels for students that they're railroaded into the standard course, but by giving them English from an early age, it really opens a lot of doors for them. And for the ones who are fortunate enough to travel abroad during their student years, it can really open doors. Especially the Europe trip, our Europe trip, a lot of kids just go on it for fun, but they end up finding something that totally changes their life. Especially the one who went to Germany, they had never even thought about it, but they felt such a bond with the host family they stayed with, and they enjoyed the country so much that they changed their plans and ended up going to university there, and I think they still live in Germany.
Wow, super inspiring stuff. Those are always great to hear stories like that.
Goodbye, my friends, goodbye. I'm sad to say goodbye. It was a good day, but now I will say goodbye, my friends, goodbye. Goodbye, everyone.